We may be wet. We may be disheveled. We may be downtrodden. And we may not have any more than 2 coins to rub together. But we're not dead yet. It's the gaming Galleon. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to adventure. Welcome once again to the captain's quarters. Sitting on a ship filled with, dare I say, some of the finest video games you'll find in the last 40 years. Yeah! But do we sit on our butts? Do we sit on our butts and just sit on our laurels and just play games like, I don't know, Ace Combat 5 for the PS2 or Smurf for the ColecoVision or, I don't know, that's what I get for cleaning up around here. You know, Double Dragon. No. We go on adventures. Alright? We take the ship and we go. We pop in a little video game. We think about what inspires us, what this game inspires in us. And then we decide to go, and here we are. Where do we find ourselves today? Again with the East Coast? Again with the East Coast? We find ourselves in Chinatown. Manhattan. That's right. That's right. Just about 4 blocks off the coast. We sat down in Columbus Park because, New York's a little crowded, if you will. But we were able to find a clearing. We set the baby down about 4 blocks from our actual destination. Chinatown Fair. You ever hear of Chinatown Fair? Well, I didn't until I decided to play this game. It all started this week when Streets of Rage 4 was announced by Sega. They're updating a brawler, a very famous brawler. And back in the 90s, the brawler genre was huge. I can actually hear children outside the ship. That's how close we are to everything. Being in New York, right? The brawler, family, there were 5 big ones back in the day. You had Double Dragon. Kind of the Godfather. 2 guys trying to save their girlfriend, beating the crap out of guys in the streets of New York City. You had Final Fight. The mayor of Metro City decides to take it into his own hands and save his daughter from the Mad Gear. You had Golden Axe. Woo! We're a long way from New York. Let's take arguably the best box art here. This is Golden Axe 2. I picked Golden Axe 2 just because of the box art. Sure, the girl's cute. The monster's ferocious. But, let's just look at the dwarf. Is he going to be doing gymnastics later? I don't know. Turtles in Time. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Huge in the arcade, the first one. This was really the culmination, the big one, the definitive one. And did you know there's a new one? Just came out this year. For the arcade, nonetheless. And, of course, Streets of Rage 2, which is now getting an update, Streets of Rage 4. And arguably, dare I say, well, I don't know, I guess Turtles probably beats it out. This is second in command. I have to put this one over Final Fight, even though I grew up with the Super Nintendo. It's just a better game. What can I say? So there you go, in my opinion. In my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, if we're going to do a Streets of Rage show, we got to go to NYC. If we're going to go... Then I thought about the game we're going to play, which is Double Dragon Neon, an update of Double Dragon, a very famous brawler from the late 80s. Updated by WayForward about 5 years ago. Has it been 5 years? Somewhere around there? Maybe 3? It's got a shiny new veneer. It's got some tongue-in-cheek humor. It's got some updated combat. It's even got a progression system. Everything that a modern gamer would want wrapped up in a game of yore. And that's very much what Chinatown Fair is like. Sitting in the middle of Chinatown is an arcade that's been around since, I'm not kidding, 1944. It started out as a penny arcade and moved on into the 70s, where it started doing more arcadey stuff, Space Invaders, Pac-Man, what have you. And the height of its success was in the 90s. The late 90s into the turn of the century, during the rhythm/fighting game era of arcades. This was the kind of place that would line the walls with fighting games. Every fighting game you could think of. And every fighting competitor of note on the East Coast would frequent the place. I'm not going to do a lot of name dropping. I don't know a lot about the fighting game community, but I do know enough about it to know Justin Wong, who was, for a long time, and still is, easily one of the kings, one of the most competitive fighting game combatants out there. That's the kind of guy, this is the kind of guy who's out in Vegas at EVO every year competing for the world championship of some fighting game, whether it be Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, yada, yada, yada. Well, the place, Chinatown Fair, around the first 10 years of the millennia, home systems kind of took over. Arcades kind of found their way out a second time. Around 2011, they lost their lease and opened back up about a year later under new management. And much like the game we're going to play today, Double Dragon 4, Double Dragon Neon, Chinatown Fair got a new coat of paint and aimed at a different clientele, a casual clientele. You walk into the place today, you're going to see games like Guitar Hero, Skee Ball, maybe a couple driving games. I mean, they had Initial D. That's pretty hot as far as driving games go. They had the new Turtles game, and I'm not kidding. There is a new 4-player Turtles game out there, if you didn't know. It's shinier. I'm not sure it's as good. In fact, I know it's not as good. But it's out there. And of course, they have one machine that is devoted to all the old games. A 2001 Mamecade, if you will. So it's certainly a much different place than it was in the 90s. Many of the people who frequented that place and grew up in that place, trained in that place, learned these games in that place, have moved on to Brooklyn. New place. More of a competitive edge. But Chinatown Fair still endures. After how many years? 60? Pretty incredible. It's neat to see, old games be remade and still have a life. And like Streets of Rage 4. I mean, it may be really good. But we have to keep in mind that the skeleton underneath the skin is really what makes these games shine. And we have to remember that, with a lot of stuff in life. Brawlers especially. So, without further ado, I'm going to ignore the pad thai that I smell in the background. It's wafting around pretty much every block of Chinatown. We're going to sit back and we're going to play Double Dragon Neon. This is a digital only game. Physical release only. It was for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I think you're really going to like it. I think you're really going to have a laugh. And if you don't worry. The booty is going to blow you away. All right? Let me don the pop of transition. And let's begin our journey into Double Dragon Neon. I'm going to blow you away with this music right off the top here. Boom! In your face! Alright, already started. We've got a power glove here. An off-brand NES power glove telling us the way to go. Already you can tell Way Forward here was trying to make this as nostalgic experience as possible. Let me get my headphones on here. Let me get my controller. And let's get this party started. PS3 controllers always need a moment to wake up. Alright, here we go. So we're playing Billy Lee. Billy's out here to save his girlfriend. Or maybe his friend with benefits. I mean, you know. It's a new era. And what happens? Ruffians. Of course. Have a seat. Oh, oh, oh. Whenever I play these games, especially Double Dragon, I always think back. Oh. Spin kick! Oh, I don't have it. Oh, I don't have it. There we go. Have a seat. I was thinking back to my very short attempt in being I don't remember much about being in karate. There was a time when
time for some discipline.
Old Cap and Raz oh! Ow! Get down. When Old Captain Raz was not the barrel-chested, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Bear. That's not the word I'm looking for. The barrel-chested bear we know today. There was a time where I was kind of svelte, believe it or not. And oh look, now here's a tape. Was it Desperation? So you have different stances and different moves in this. We just picked up Desperation.
Desperate people in their homes, artificial.
Alright. Get a huge get a huge health boost when you're attack boost when you're down 50%. Well, that's not gonna be fun. But yeah, depending on what stance you have, there's 10 stances, you can have one equipped. Uh-oh, brick wall. Am I the only one who knows what's coming here? I mean, if it's Double Dragon and there's a brick wall. Gymnastics. He yelled it. When he cartwheeled, he said gymnastics. Oh, another, we got a new move. Fireball. Alright, fair enough. Oh, this is just in time, too. Oh, I missed him. Oh, I missed. Alright, no problem. Oh. Alright, pal. What about that? That's what he thinks about it. I'm not done yet. Got him! Ooh, power hand. New stance. Oh. Oh. Somebody changed the channel. Yikes. What does this one do? Stance, focus on attack. Alright. Fair enough. Of course, power gambit. Makes sense. Free life here. Yeah, so I remember having a really tough sensei in karate. And I don't remember anything about, aside from learning to breathe and, like, having to do, like, kata, which is, like, I don't know, you tense all your muscles for a second and then you let it go. The only other thing I remember about it is the guy was like, no gum. No gum, bro. The sensei. And he said the reason we don't do gum is one time somebody... Oh. What you don't want to have happen... The last thing you want to have happen is when you're doing this stuff is doing karate. Is swallow the gum. Because then, this is what he says. He says, then I'll have to open up your trachea and put a straw in there. Otherwise you're gonna choke. I don't know how I felt that one. Alright, put that back here. Okay, we're back. Oh, proper transition, right? There we go. Alright. Yeah, so remember that about gum. That's how karate senseis look at it. This guy was all Americana. He may as well have been the guy who trained Johnny in Karate Kid. He was serious business. I didn't last long there, let me tell you. Just on camera. All right, great. So where's my hand? Here it is. Booty. Who's ready for some booty, huh? Got some serious business here. Really scored well in the Nintendo department here. Now, when I say Nintendo, I mean modern Nintendo. Let's take a look at what we got. Kind of. I guess we start out with a little bit of... Is DS considered retro? I don't know if DS is considered retro, but... Pawn shops everywhere. They got DS games all over the place. You know, that's great, but 10 million of them are terrible. Like, you know, I don't know, Cooking Mama or Pets or Horses or whatever. So you got to be selective. They were selling DS games for $1 each one day at this pawn shop, and I happened to see one that caught my eye. We've got Kingdom Hearts. What is it called again? This is going to be the most convoluted name in video game history. It's Kingdom Hearts 353 over 2. 353 over 2 days. Now, I don't know if this got ported anywhere. I think there's like a... It doesn't want to play. It's not being nice to me. Not being nice to me. Oh boy, this is going to be a long booty segment if I can't get DS games to focus. There we go. There we go. I don't think that got ported anywhere. You got GoldenEye 007. Also not wanting to focus. There we go. And we've got one I didn't really know anything about. I don't know. I picked it up. SpongeBob Boating Bash. This one sounds terrible. But they were $1 each, so we grabbed them. Kingdom Hearts, I think we already had this one. Kingdom Hearts coming out with a new game, I believe, in a couple months. About a 10-year-old franchise. I only played the first one. All right, second deal. We saw a 3DS. Now, if I ever see a 3DS XL, I'm usually... We found a 3DS XL. Here. It's got Mario on it. Anybody who knows these things know that some of them have free games on them. This one happens to have Thank you, Mario. Super Mario Brothers 2. Okay. Now I opened this guy up. I asked him to pull it out of the counter for me. And I saw there was a game in there. Popped out the game. What do we got? Oh, how about that? We got Kingdom Hearts Recoded. I believe there are only 2 Kingdom Hearts games on the DS. Look at that. We got them both all of a sudden. Alright. Wasn't terribly excited about that. But hey. Again, it's better than Cooking Mama. right? Do you know what Kingdom Hearts is? It's Disney meets Square. Final Fantasy characters meet Square Disney characters. You can travel through Alice in Wonderland. You can travel through Pirates of the Caribbean. It's an action RPG. You're building up your guy. You're, getting new spells. So this is how the thing was displayed. And usually when I see a 3DS XL, I open it up because I want to see what games are downloaded onto it. Every so often you find a 3DS that someone has downloaded some games onto it. Not often, but it has happened. So, I'm going to need this. So I'm busy opening this up, checking this out, whatever. And I don't even pay attention to the fact that it was sitting on this forgettable carrying case. Actually it's not, as far as carrying cases go, it's kind of vibrant. But who cares, right? And I actually already had one of these, the exact same model. This is the 3DS I've been using for a couple of years. Okay? So basically, I'm only looking just to see if there's any games on there. If there's no games, I don't care. They were asking $110. Okay? Who cares? So I'm looking at this thing. I'm opening it up. I'm looking at it. And that's when the clerk pulls this out and opens it. And I'm like, oh, those come with? Well, that's different, isn't it? That's different. Okay? So it's got, it's empty there. That's where you put the 3DS. And then we have a smattering of games. And whoever had these games, clearly this was some sort of 20-something, maybe even a 30-something, someone with taste. Let's take a look. Right out of the box, I saw Dragon Ball Fusion, and you know how cheap I am. If I'm going to buy a lot for $110, I'm going to start looking for gravy that we can flip. All right? I already knew that we had the same 3DS XL, so I figured I'd be able to sell that for somewhere around $80, $80 to $100. Okay? And they're asking $110. So what's that mean? We got to make up about $30 from the games if we want to walk out of here, without paying. Okay? Essentially. Down the line. Dragon Ball Fusion, I knew we already had it, and it's kind of a pricey game. We may be able to get, right now, that's kind of like a $30 game. So that's actually where we needed to be. Okay? What else we got? Batman 2? Lego Batman 2? Who cares, right? You see it. It's Lego Batman 2. This is, next to it here, we had two games sitting in the pocket. One was Angry Birds Star Wars. There you go. Who cares, really? Not that hot on Star Wars, not that hot on Angry Birds. But behind it, what was in there? Look at that. Fire Emblem Awakening. Very hard to, very respected turn-based strategy RPG ongoing Nintendo series. All the way back from the original Nintendo. It's kind of like chess with, Pegasus and magicians and all that stuff. Mario and Luigi Dream Team. Kind of an offshoot of Paper Mario, I think. Never played this series. Here it's great. People love it. No. Oh, come back here, you. Lego Harry Potter. There you go. Come on, you. It's Lego Harry Potter year 5 through 7 for the 3DS. And it's a nightmare. That's Voldemort sitting there looking tough. Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice. These modern Sonic games don't get a lot of praise. This one I actually played It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Think like old Sonic, except he can do kind of like a guided ball as a double jump. It's actually pretty good. I can understand why this guy picked it up. I recognize this one even before I took it out. This is Super Mario 3D Land. Oh boy. Super Mario 3D Land. Luigi's Mansion. More gravy. We already had this one. It's Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I think that's a remake of Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube. I don't know if that's a new game or what. And then very happy to see finally the last game I pulled out of there was Mario Maker 3DS. I don't know. People go ape about these Mario Maker games. I gotta be honest with you. For my $1, I'll just stick with Little Big Planet. I mean, maybe that's blasphemy. Maybe I'm selling out, old Mario, guy I grew up with. But I don't know. Little Big Planet's just more my speed. Anyway, there you go. So that was 11 games. 12 if you count that New Super Mario Brothers is on the 3DS. They asked in 110. It came out to 117 with tax. We put the 3DS XL up for sale that day for, I believe, 100. It sold the very same day. I put my spare one. I put the one I use in here just for visual aid purposes. It sold for $90. We had to do shipping. Oh, after taxes and everything, we got our Amazon fees. We got it for $90. Had to send it out. That was another $5 or so. So $85. Okay, so that means we basically now Dragon Ball for whatever reason hasn't sold yet. It may sell in a week or two. Who knows? I figured it would go faster, but it hasn't. So right now we basically have bought that system. Basically bought the 11 games for 85 minus 117, 15, 30, $32. Not bad at all. Factoring in some of the games that are here, like Fire Emblem, Mario Maker, I think we did pretty good. That's almost like $3 a game, something like that. Yeah. All right. Another little DS lot here. Are your eyes straining yet? How are we doing on time? All right. We got these games. We walked in there. Chick knows me. She's like, there you are, Neil. We dropped some DS games. They've been on the floor since yesterday. I'm like, oh boy. But apparently, no one had looked. So we did find some pretty good stuff. First off, I saw, and there were about there were maybe about twice as many games as we picked. There was some garbage, but there was some good stuff too. We had Animal Crossing, Wild World. Not the biggest fan of this Animal Crossing. This was the first one where they got rid of holidays, and they got rid of Nintendo games. That's not good. But I played a little bit of this. We already have it. We have it complete. 2 copies of this, though. This one looks, you can tell this one's really brown. Something had happened here. And when I tried to play it, my plan was to sell this one. The game goes for, I don't know, around $12 plus shipping. So my plan was to sell this. Write up that, the label's a little burnt, but apparently it doesn't work. I have not been able to get this one to work. However, the other one worked. So we got 2 Animal Crossings. We put the one that worked up for $12 plus shipping. It sold after fees and taxes. We got $8 back, which is great because we got 7 games here. That means all these games we're about to see, we paid for. We're already paid for. They're all cherry. We got them all for free. How about that, huh? You gotta love when you do a little hustling and you get free games. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Who's going to want to play Call of Duty on their DS? That being said, I read some reviews on this, and apparently it's a pretty competent port. Call of Duty 4. What's this? Oh, yeah. Really cool. Really excited to find this one. Dementium? Dementium the Ward. And if you see in the background, that's a guy screaming. Survival horror first-person shooter on the DS. So it's not just walking around and, you know, saving your ammo. Well, you may have to save your ammo, but it's actually some first-person shooter action. This one I've never encountered in the wild, so I was very excited to add that to the hold. You know, a lot of main staples here. Mario Kart DS. New Super Mario Brothers. And then the very last game that I pulled out of this, I'm sifting through the little bag. The very last game is turned over like this on me. And you'll notice all these had a price tag of $3. She said she'd go half price on us. So we got these for $1.50 each. Well, we got them for free, but that was after hustling. We paid $1.50 each. But the last game, sitting like this, I turn it over, and what do we have? The elusive, very hard to find, at least they're $1.50. Pokemon Heart Gold. This game, for whatever reason, still seems to go up in price. Even in this little loose form, it seems to be going for around $60 today. Pretty hot stuff. So we bought all those for $1.50 each. Paid around $11. Sold Animal Crossing for $12. Got $8 back after shipping. So I think we paid maybe about $3 for those games. I think we may have even broken even. I don't think so though. Now that I'm working it out in my head, we paid $11 and got $8 back. So $3 for those 6 games. Yeah. 6 games. So there you go. All right. Finally, this happened just today. I walked into a pawn shop. I'm on the look for Wii U games. It's kind of my system right now. I'm the one jerk off in the whole world who's caring about Wii U games. I don't have to tell you, I'm a vulture. This is the time to do it. I see that they have some games behind the counter, facing away from me. But the bottom one, it's plain to see what it is. Super Mario Maker. So I said, let me see the Wii U games. He gave me about 4 or 5 of them. I think one of them was Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and the other one was Pac-Man Ghostly Adventures. Ghostly Adventures 2. I said, what's the price on the Wii U games? He said they're $10 each, but they're 2 for $15. And I looked at the games, and I pulled 3 of them, and I said, can you do 3 for $15? And he's like, no, I really can't. And I said, okay, how about 3 for $20? And he said, okay. So no tax, flat rated. We got these for $20. Yoshi's Woolly World, which we already had. Captain Toad Tracker. And then, of course, the Mario Maker. This one is a little thicker, you'll notice. It comes with like a book, I guess, to help you build levels. If you don't know what this is Mario. This is Mario, Super Mario 3, Mario World, and Super Mario Wii U, except you get to build the levels, and you can go online and play all the levels that all the other Nintendo heads have made. I don't know. People are gonzo about that. I guess I'm just kind of done with. I've always kind of been done with Mario, but I don't know. It's still, obviously you want it in the collection there. Maybe it'll win me over. So I got those 3. I looked in that specifically to make sure the disc was in there, and it's in nice shape. Mario Maker, and then that's when the clerk opens Treasure Tracker, and there's no game in it. And I'm like, ugh, bogus. And he's like, well, maybe someone put it in the book with all the loose Wii U games. They put the cases on the shelf, empty. You bring the case to the counter. They open up this big book of CDs and DVDs and games. They have a number attached to the case. Here's your game. So we're flipping through. We're not finding Toad Tracker, but what we do find loose is Zelda Breath of the Wild. Which, again, we already have. But we bought Breath of the Wild, Yoshi's Woolly World, and Mario Maker for $20. I leave, go straight over. I'm such a hustler, such a pirate. I go straight to the retro game shop, the high-end place. It deals in condition. I give them Zelda Breath of the Wild and Yoshi Woolly World and keep Mario Maker. And the guy's looking at him. I'm like, I want to trade these in. He says, well, I could do $20 credit and $14 cash. And I'm looking at this guy. And I'm looking at these two high-end games. And I'm like, you can do better than that. How about we do 20 cash? That's all I want. 20 cash out the door. How's that? He's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, come on, man. He's like, maybe if Breath of the Wild had the case. And I'm like, you gonna dog me $6 for a case on Zelda Breath of the Wild? Get out of here. You know how many people want Zelda and don't care about a case? So I'm like, I stick. I'm like, I gotta do 20 cash. Come on. I'm sure you can do 20 cash on these. You could easily put Zelda in a case for a generic case for 30. You have all you're pricing them at 48. He's got Breath of the Wild retail on the shelf for 48 and Yoshi for 28, and he can't give me $20 cash. So finally he just doesn't say anything. He starts trying to do it. Has to get a manager over. Says he wants 20 cash. The manager gives it to me. So we walked out of there. Don't have to worry about shipping anything out. Don't even have to worry about fees. We got Super Mario Maker for the Wii U in real nice shape for free. Can't go wrong with that, huh? Alright, let's get back to Double Dragon Neon. Things get very interesting in the second level of Double Dragon Neon. Oh, I almost screwed us up big time. So let's get started with that, shall we? You guys ready for this? Double Dragon Neon. Hey, what happened? My capture card crashed? Alright. Water's getting a little choppy, but we're over right. Sorry. Hold on, let me give it. I'm bringing you. I'm bringing it. I didn't forget you. Mission 2, the back alleys. Back alleys of Chinatown, baby. Let's do this. Now, I have a feeling I'm going to get docked. YouTube's going to get mad at me for this episode, this voyage. And it's because of the awesome song we're about to hear. But I'm not cutting it.
Discipline.
Boom. I don't even want to check the tapes because it would interrupt this excellent music. We're drinking 2 liters. Catch! Oh, that's what I get. Nice. Take that, hot dog truck. So this is pretty cool. You actually do a little shopping in this one. been picking up cash. We'll pick up an extra life, and then you can buy extra tapes to kind of you'll notice here every time you buy a tape it levels up your ability a little bit. We'll buy Fireball. All right, let's go.
Thank you for
Oh, you're welcome.
It's go. Yeah. Nice knowing you.
I want to learn this song. If I had a band, we'd be singing this song. Knife versus bat, what do you think? Knife all day.
Naughty, naughty.
And my capture card is screwing up big time.
Naughty.
I apologize for the super choppiness. That's live to tape for you, buddy. Oh. Boom!
Discipline.
Oh. Did he say touchdown? So we fix that gap. Back down to the streets. You'll notice this crystal dragon kick. If you were around in the 90s, you get that. Oh, here. Let me help you. Now right here, again a little more progression here.
How goes
If you've maxed out Fireball to 20, you can actually spend this other kind of currency. It's a little harder to find to get you 30. How about that, huh? So yeah, every time you replay these levels, you get a little bit of incentive to keep going. Did we freeze? What happened here? Now what's going on with my stupid cards? There we go. Geez, sorry. Alright, well, we beat up a Bobo the second time. He didn't miss much. There was more beating up. Plot twist. Double Dragon in space.
Man, this
Totally.
wasn't crap.
Is that a hair pick? I think that's a hair pick.
Marianne! Who are you?
Who are the chicks?
I'm your worst nightmare!
Skullmageddon! Sorry, I'm out. I know this guy like the back of my hand. Ooh. Or not. Oh, I ran right into that one. Oh, he vomited on me. The guy. Oh, shoot. The guy stabbed me through the floor, pinned me to the floor with his sword, vomited on me, and then ripped the sword right out of my chest. Oh, Raz. Yeah, thanks. I got lives still. It's a beat 'em up. think this is Dark Souls. Oh.
You're bound. Skeleton. Face off.
Got him.
Time to make a marrow
Yeah, all right.
escape.
We got it, buddy. See you later.
Voyage.
All right. Thank you very much. Oh, rock out with that transition. All right. Oh my God, we made it. Can you guys hear me? No. Oh yeah, you can. Okay. Oof, jeez. It's got a little dicey there, huh? I mean, I updated the navigator before the show. I don't know if it's trying to do another update or what, but it's having issues. What are you gonna do? Where's my hat? All right. What did you expect? The clean production? Come on. You know better than that by now, right? All right. Let's hit the old mailbag, shall we? The mailbag. The bag that tells no tales. Forged by my sister. Many years ago, or at least 2 years ago. What do we got here? This is a letter from one of you fine people out there. If you have a question, please feel free to send it to the Gaming Galleon at gmail.com, or you can whisper it to me on Twitch. Doesn't get much easier than that, right? All right, this one appears to be from Boatswain Scorpy. And he writes, Dear Captain Raz, Yar. What do you call a pirate with 2 eyes and 2 legs? I have no idea. A rookie. A rookie? I don't get it. All right. Seriously, though, thanks for sharing your voyages aboard the Gaming Galleon. It makes this pirate's day just that much better. It's my pleasure, Scorpy. Always happy to see you bumming around the old mess hall, keeping order, or taking orders. My question in this is, which classic game would you like to be made into VR and why? Wow, what a neat question. And also, did I ever try the Vectrex arcade console when I was younger? No, I haven't. Loyal fan Boatswain Scorpy. What classic game would I like to be made into VR and why? Well, I'm looking at it from a gameplay perspective. I could see Tron Deadly Disc being interesting, mainly because it wouldn't be that hard to do. You're throwing a disc and catching it. You could even have the peripheral of the wrist gauntlet that they would catch weren't they catching it and then they would throw it? Tron would be interesting. If we're thinking of the kind of game that I would want to just sit down and play forever, I mean, I know there's a virtual arcade out there. Maybe Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing would be pretty hot. I'm so hot on Animal Crossing right now. It's just silly. It's just the kind of game where you can sit down and play for 15 minutes or play all day. Yeah. How about Animal Crossing? That way I could just walk around and fish. Or I could play Nintendo games all day. Or I could go shopping. I think someone asked me if I could go to the desert island, what game I'd pick, and I picked Animal Crossing. So here we go again. with Animal Crossing. I just that'd be pretty hot to be able to play that in first person. I don't know if I'd ever keep those goggles on that long. Anything else? Anything else? I'd like to see something like a shooter, you know, like a space shooter, but it would have to be something where you're kind of changing polarity, so you're like snapping your finger or hitting your chest at the right moment to get the right shot, like Ikaruga. Ikaruga would be kind of neat, and then you could change polarity by hitting your chest. I don't know, but probably something relaxing, like Animal Crossing. That'd be pretty cool. I think I'd be down for that. And you know, they could make it deeper. You know, maybe other villages you could visit. More video games, more Nintendo games. I know there's a VR thing where you can play. You're in an arcade. And that's really all I want. I just want to hang out in an arcade and play arcade games all day. That's it. Any game that supplies that is my VR experience. All right. We'll leave it there. Scorpy, thanks you for the question. I want to thank you all for coming. Unfortunately, all terribly technically pieced together productions must come to an end. This one must as well. I guess I'm going to leave the boat, head on over to Chinatown Fair. I might play that new TMNT game. I'll probably play like Garu Mark of the Wolves on the emulated machine, the Mamecade, and I'll probably wonder why I didn't go to that competitive arcade in Brooklyn where everyone hangs out now. So I'll get some pad thai though. Got that going for me. All right, thank you for joining me. It was another excellent adventure here in New York City with Double Dragon. I want you to enjoy the old games you have. I want you to anticipate the new games that are coming. But for God's sakes, I don't want you to forget where they came from in the first place. All right? So, until next time, well and adieu to ye fair Spanish maidens. Well and adieu, ye ladies of Spain, for we received orders for to bust up some baddies. And lo, nevermore shall we see ye all gone. We'll see you next time. Oh. And keep that powder dry, matey.